My name is Caroline Gunderman and this is my Governor's School art interview. My preferred media, I used to like doing pencil and charcoal drawings because, well, it is one of the first types of media I learned to work with, and it is easy to make much more detailed work and easier to shade. But I recently got into paints like acrylic and gouache and watercolor, and you can be more expressive with paint and it's more free than pencil and charcoal. A lot of influences from my art comes from other forms of media, such as music and TV shows, especially other artists and other types of art, like Impressionism is a really big type of art that I really enjoy. And Van Gogh is, if not my favorite artist, one of my favorite artists. So I've done a lot with my art over the past 2 years. So my freshman year, I was in AYA, or Arkansas Young Artists Association, and I submitted 2 pieces, and one of them got 4th in oil pastel. And I wasn't enrolled in art at my school at that time, so. And then my sophomore year, I got 1st in chalk pastel, 2nd in watercolor, and 4th in pencil and graphite. And then I also won the Judges Award at the Governor's Art Competition my sophomore year. And I had 3 pieces accepted into the historic Cane Hill Art Competition. One of my pieces in that competition won an award of excellence. I also got an honorable mention at the art competition at the Art Center. I attended the KCAI pre-college art program in the summer of my sophomore year as well. And in that same summer, I also painted a mural at Jericho Way. My most successful piece of art would probably have to be the one that won 1st place in AYA. It was the chalk pastel drawing, a self-portrait of me. I don't have it with me right now, but it won 2 awards from 2 different contests, and it was also a successful attempt in making it look accurate, and a successful attempt at a chalk pastel drawing, I think, in my opinion, and a successful finished piece. My favorite piece of art right now is probably a pencil drawing. It's at the historic Cane Hill right now. It is of a woman with flowers in her hair. I just really like it because I think it's a very successful attempt at realism using graphite and pencil. And I think it's also impressive that it only started out as just a simple practice in art class. So this is my first piece I have. It is called Asylum for Womankind. My process, of course, started with brainstorming ideas because this piece needed to tell a story. So I thought about what story I wanted to convey, what message I wanted to present in my art. So after I decided on that, I looked for reference images and things I could use in order to help my piece be accurate to what I want to portray, and just to help it look accurate in general. Then I chose the materials I wanted to use, which is pencil, charcoal, and colored pencil for the background. And I wanted to use those in order to get all this fine detail in the shading and just an easy way to color the background without having to use paint and run the risk of going over the figure. I wanted it to be black and white, not only to stand out from the rest of the piece, but to show the difference in the figure that is present in the forefront and the figures in the background, which is obviously part of my message that I'm trying to show. I chose to put a fence behind the figure to represent the separation between the figure in the forefront and then the figures in the background. I chose this piece mainly because It tells a story, and I think that's different than what I usually do in my artwork. In most of my artwork, I just choose to show just a scene or just do a portrait of a person, but in this one I actually tried to do symbolism and show something different than what I usually do, and I think I did it pretty effectively for not having done it very often. The story I'm trying to convey with this piece is, well, obviously I said it can be taken many different ways, but the main story I was looking for is ostracization from a group of people based on whatever it is, gender, race, sexuality, just whatever. Just that ostracization, even though she's obviously intelligent because of the book, she obviously knows things. She's intelligent, she's smart, she's creative, but because of whatever it is, she's ostracized from society. So these two pieces are going to be part of the series that I am trying to start doing. So they are obviously portraits, and I wanted to do portraits because, I love doing portraits. I love doing people and painting people because they're so expressive. And I wanted to show how expressive people are in their portraits. And I didn't want it to be just any random people. So I chose some of my friends who are a huge inspiration to me. And I love them very much, and I just really wanted to represent them in a painting. I wanted the piece to make it feel more energetic and have more personality. So I didn't do a normal, realistic portrait. Of course there are some elements of realism, but I wanted it to have some hints of impressionism and some hints of expressionism, just to make it seem like it has more movement and just more energy. I also looked for colors that would match the subject's personality. So obviously this one is pink and this one is blue. And why I chose to present these is I really enjoyed the outcome of both of these pieces, especially as a series. I think it demonstrates the type of art that I really enjoy doing, which is portraits. And I just think it shows my ability to paint as well as my ability to not paint super realistically and super in a super abstract style. So I started this painting by first making the outlines of the buildings with liquid watercolor. And then I went back over with the watercolor tray and started to do all the little details of the buildings, like the windows and the doors. But to do even finer detail, I went back over with watercolor pencil. And I really wanted to do a landscape because it is very much different than what I like doing. I don't enjoy a lot of landscape paintings, but I really enjoyed making this one, and I really enjoyed the outcome of this one. Mainly because it's a landscape of New York City, which with all these gorgeous buildings, and New York City is just such an inspirational city. It has so many beautiful buildings and beautiful sights to see, and I just really wanted to show the beauty of the city in my painting with the chosen buildings that are portrayed. And yeah, it is very different than what I normally do. I just wanted to show it so that you can see the difference, so that you can see the variety of things that I can do with my art. And I'm just really pleased with how it turned out, considering there's no pencil under sketch, it is just all watercolor.